you want to build that? I'll show you how. That's just built out of skids. So pallets, thicker boards, all pallets. Every single bit of that is all pallets. I'm gonna build one for my nephews. They asked me, they got a dartboard for Christmas. They saw that I built a cabinet for myself, so they want something similar. And I'm gonna build it out of this. This is 2.5 by 8 lumber, and it was used to frame a door for my sister's shop. Pretty big lumber. It's an old building, so they got a new door. He said, "Can you use this to make the dartboard?" Sure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna slice it, how I'm gonna assemble it, and I'll show you how I do it. Let's get started. So I saved everyone the painful of dimensioning lumber, slicing it. So bandsaw, slice it to a certain dimension, run it through the planer, cut it down, all that fun stuff. It's just too boring. So I've already done that step. So here are my door stock, 3/4. I haven't cut the length yet, obviously. I don't want the doors this big. So I've got 4 of those panels, and then I made, these are my back panels for the dartboard, and they're 5/8 thick, and they're just whatever. I also made my rails, so sides and top rails, and the last piece de resistance is the bottom. So this is going to be your bottom. That's going to have the chalk. It's going to have the dart holes, and it's going to connect the whole assembly. So I cut it off, and now it's going to be gluing up time. So I'm going to trim these down so that way I have some nice glue surfaces to glue to. Doors are just going to be 2 different glue ups, one for each door. And I'm going to glue the whole back panel in one shot. And I'm using dominoes because I have it, and it is super simple. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to cut these down, make sure I have enough stock. And out of all of that, I think I have half a board left out of all that. So I'm pretty good with using stock up efficiently. If you guys like this so far, give me a like. Subscribe, and trying to get over 1,000 by the end of this year. That's one of my goals. So yeah, I'm gonna continue on and start gluing this stuff up. Now when you glue up panels like this, and you're using dominoes, so these are 6x40s, I made mine on the second setting, which is a little bigger, so that way when you get panels like this, you don't have to fight with them. Sometimes some people will have one that's a total good fit and then the rest of them easy. But with panels like this, I just kind of, whatever. Put a little bit of glue in there. You don't need a lot of pressure with these. All you're doing is just squeezing the joint. You don't want to over squeeze it, squeeze all the glue out, because then you get dry spots. So it's just enough to get your little squeeze out. If you clamp it too tight, you'll essentially bow it anyway. So you don't need a lot of clamping force. It's enough to make her nice. And that's it. Let these dry up and I'll start with the rails tomorrow. Okay, so now that panels are glued, they're in the house. So I made these rails, and these are 1.25 inches by almost 3 inches. I think it's 2 and 15/16. I made a boo-boo because I was in a rush, and instead of cutting, I thought everything was gonna lay flat. So I ended up cutting miters like this instead of like this. So this piece became firewood, and I had to make another top piece. Thankfully, these ones were long enough, and I can continue on. I am going to put a domino in here on the miter, so that way it gives a little extra strength. I don't think I really need it, but I like it. So I'm going to put dominoes on here, on each miter. I'm not going to glue it up yet, because the next step after I get the dominoes mocked in is I need to cut the rabbet. So I need to cut a rabbet. The panels are going to be 5/8, and I'm probably going to go half the depth of this as far as seating. So yeah, that's my next step. So glue up time. Dominoes, angles, rabbets are in. I'm gonna use these. I picked these up at Lee Valley. 15 or I don't know, 18 bucks I think for a set of 4. And I'm gonna use these, one on the inside, one on the outside, to try to keep it square. So let's see how that goes. So it's glue up time. So I had to change my tactic a little bit. With these, the joint wasn't closing up the way I thought it would, so I put my bigger parallel clamps on it, close it up, and then I put their square on the inside. The legs I can obviously adjust as I get to it, but now it's going to be making the base, putting this aside and making the base and getting it ready to glue up. So this is the bottom of the cabinet, and in this cabinet I had spots for darts to sit, and then I put a little spot right here for the chalk, and that's what I'm recreating right here. I'm gonna use an interesting bit. I've never used this one, so I'm gonna try it. It's a little wider than what I have here, but that's fine. I got room. And I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. So that's the plan. I'm just gonna put it on a fence, which I already have. That's my little DeWalt adjustable fence. Works good because I can run between both routers. So I'm gonna get this buttoned up. I'll show you how this is carved out, and then we're getting ready for something. Now we come to the fun part of the build. So the frame's going to get held in with 2 dominoes, 10 by 50s. It sits like this. And goes in like that. Works pretty good. But before I can actually put the frame together, I have to fit the back panel too. So I have a rabbet on 3 sides, but I have nothing in here. So what I'm planning to do is put dominoes, 5 by 30s, in here like so. So I'll have like 4 of them positioned across and into the panel. So the panel will sit in the dominoes, and then I can glue it to the rabbet. That's the plan. So that's what I'm going to execute right now. I'm going to cut my panel to size and get it fit in, and then get the dominoes and get it all glued up, squared, clamped her up, and then I can work on the doors. Come on, focus. There you go. All right, so this is the color that the cabinet ended up. So here is the back side of the cabinet. The doors are just off right there. Both of them are done. They're all done with this wiping stain. Old Masters, and it's dark walnut. So if anybody likes this color and wants to use it, this is what I used. So now it is roughly, I'm going to take one of these maroon Scotch-Brites, lightly go over it, make sure there's no dust or anything else, and then I'm going to use this. It's a clear, it's a satin finish, Verifying. And 2 coats, brush it on. In between coats, use the Scotch-Brite to scuff really lightly, and then done. I'll show you the finished part. Okay, so this is the end result of the cabinet. Stained, cleared 2 coats. Doors are on. They open 180 degrees, so that's perfect. I didn't put a thing in a door because I didn't know what they wanted. So I'm just going to give them to them like this, and I hope the boys will love it. I think they will. So that's what it looks like. And that's it for this. So if you guys like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you on the next build. Bye for now.